Hello everybody, hello TAFE teachers, hello subscribers, and hello any horticultural students that may come across this wacky video. Okay, now I am called Rachel and I have been doing the plant identification assessment, and as you all know, it's very tricky. It's very hard to get our heads around all of this botany, but there are some steps that I took that I would like to share with you all, and this is all to get the plant identification, the proper name for this plant, which actually is a Banksia spinulosa. But let me share with you the steps that I took. Okay, and yeah, so to begin identifying my plant, now I've got some notes here. I hope that's all good. I took a notebook and I wrote some notes on the following. I wrote down about the location of my plant. Okay, and this was actually next to a highway on a gentle slope with grass and leaf mulch, and it was around it, and it was in the full sun. And the climate that the plant was actually growing in is a cool climate in woodland surrounds. The soil type was sandy, gritty. There were small rock particles. There was leaf mulch present. The soil was also dark in some areas, and it was a little moist too. However, it was appearing to be nice, well-drained soil. It was very much combination soil. And the growth habit, it was growing up to 2 meters high. It's a bushy shrub, and it was growing upwards and outwards. The health condition, this actual plant seemed really good. It seemed really healthy, and yeah, I was quite impressed with how good it was growing. There's just a few little yellow leaves, possibly too much phosphorus in the soil there. And the other plants growing around were plants like eucalyptus and grevilleas. And the measurements of the plants are also what I took notes of, and these are included in the morphological traits, and I will talk about those next. I also took lots of photos of my plant, my beautiful Banksia spinulosa. Okay, this isn't actually the original flower. I actually got this from my neighbour's garden. This one is just for the video, for this oral presentation. And yeah, I just thought, well, why not use this one? This is the hairpin. Banksia spinulosa is also called and known as the hairpin Banksia because these little styles here, these black hooked styles, look like little hairpins. They also come in different colours like yellow and gold and orange, and yeah, this is black and yellow Banksia spinulosa. Okay, so yes, I noted the morphological and tactile and sensory aspects of the plant, which I will talk about. Now, the morphological is all about the physical descriptive aspects relating to the plant's physical features, things like form, shape, colours, patterns, sizes of the flower descriptions, the leaf descriptions, the descriptions of the actual, the trunk of the little shrub, and the fruit descriptions. So some of my morphological traits for my Banksia spinulosa are the following. So we have some linear leaves here, long, thin leaves, and they're quite toothed there on the edges. Okay, the leaves are alternate, scattered along a woody leaf. I mean a woody branch. Yeah. Okay, and they're growing up to 7 millimeters wide and 8 centimeters in length. The leaves are also a little bit revolute, which means that on the edges they roll in and underneath, so you don't always see the underside as well as you see the top side. And the cone fluorescence here, also known as a spike, is actually a structure, and it's made up of hundreds and hundreds of paired little flowers in little pairs like this all along these bracts in this middle axis here. And yeah, they're growing quite happily along there, and they're in a tubular formation, those tiny little flowers. And yeah, this is the fruit follicle, which actually, fruit follicles. Okay, if I hold this up, there's all these little follicles in there, those rounder bits. If they burst open in fire, they'll release seeds. These actually form after this spike has finished flowering. yeah, it's very, very hard. It needs really hot days or fire to release those seeds. I'm actually in love with this plant now. I've studied it for so long. I really, really like it, and I would love to burst open these seeds, I don't know, with a blowtorch or something, get some fire. I just really want to, you know, grow my own little Banksia spinulosa. I just love them. They're just so pretty now that I've investigated it. Anyway, let's get my intellect back on. Okay, so the trunk is a grey brown and patchy in appearance, and the tactile and sensory features, which actually intertwine together, as following. So, yeah, we have, and this is about how the plant feels, smells, sounds, you know, like if it blows in the wind, what sort of sound would it make, and how it tastes, if it's actually not poisonous. I mean, don't go licking stuff if you think it's poisonous. I mean, it doesn't kill birds. Birds love this plant. Anyway, the tactile sensory traits of my spinulosa, Banksia spinulosa, it's got a prickly little leaf margin here. You can feel those little prickles because it's a little bit toothed. Smooth trunk, but mainly like just a little bit of smooth, like little bit of bumps along the trunk, and the branches are woody, and the cone fluorescence with these hundreds of paired flowers is actually quite wiry, and you know, it's like they all flick as you touch it, and they're very stiff as well. The flower also has a slight fragrance there, and I have read that this actually can smell like baked bread. And the fruit of the Banksia spinulosa, yes, like, is very, very hard. They're about 2 centimeters in width here, and yeah, they create they grow very compact here, tightly knitted in together, and they create this lumpy bumpy cone. Yeah, so that is the next stage after the flowering. And then after this flowers, then in the next formation is actually these. Look, little tiny, like these are baby ones here, if you can see that in there. These are going to be the cones. Oh, okay, well, that makes things easier. These cones here, okay, this is the early development here of my spinulosa. So this becomes this, and then this becomes this, and then you get the seeds, and then there we go. So how about we just put that back there. There we go. Okay, what are we up to next? Okay, so the Banksia spinulosa is also very similar to the Banksia collina. However, Banksia collina has slightly bigger leaves in width and in length, and it's got a little bit more severe serration on the edge of the leaves. And I visited the site of the Banksia spinulosa to know any changes, probably for about 6 months, and I noticed that the cone fluorescences actually get darker. So the one that I photographed in my assessment has gone from yellow to an orange color, and yeah, the leaves actually became quite flat, and as they got older, and then they became a little bit more clearly toothed on the leaf margin. So I found that quite interesting, and yeah, I found that very interesting. So in my following video, which is going to be titled Video 2, TAFE Horticulture Plant Identification Keying for Banksia spinulosa, I will share with you all, hopefully, the correct route on PlantNet, New South Wales Flora Online, which is a dichotomous key, which you go through 2 sets of questions, and then you pick the right one, and then you keep going, and then it'll lead you to another number, and then you get right to the end where you end up with your proper scientific name, if you've keyed it properly, of your plant specimen. And yeah, so I'm happy to receive any comments, any feedback. I'm happy to have anyone ask me questions if I can answer them, because I am only a first year student. And yeah, I just hope you've all enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next video. Actually, I won't see you, you'll see me. So nice to meet you all, and thank you for listening. And now you know a little bit about this beautiful Banksia spinulosa, and I love it. I just love Australian natives. I'm so happy that I was born here and raised in such a beautiful country. Anyway, that's enough.